BTS News Today. The title has ignited the curiosity of the ARMY around the world. The same question resonates in various online forums, social media, and even among well-known entertainment journalists. What exactly happened? Why do two BTS members who are known to be close and open with each other actually have to meet secretly, behind the curtain of South Korean entertainment? Is there something they are hiding from the public? Or is there a personal reason that the meeting should be kept out of the camera spotlight? News of the secret meeting between Jungkook and Jimin first emerged from a fan tweet, who accidentally sees two men who are very similar to Jungkook and Jimin, middle wearing a black hat and a thick mask in a small shop in the Mapogu area of Seoul. The fans were not immediately convinced that it was them, but the movement of the body, the sound, and such a familiar interaction made her feel that something was off. Within minutes, speculation was running wild. Blurry photos taken from a distance began to spread, and the ARMY with their detective skills immediately connect the small dots, which leads to one astounding conclusion. Yes, it was Jungkook and Jimin, but the meeting was only the beginning of something bigger. A slowly unfolding mystery, showing that behind the warm smiles they used to share on the screen, there are inner upheavals and personal stories away from the camera. The meeting was not just a meeting of two old friends, but an important meeting full of emotions, memories, and decisions that can affect many things in the future. Many wondered, why should they keep the meeting a secret? Aren't they known for being very close and not hesitating to show their friendship to the public? The answer is not as simple as it seems. In the period of conscription that they are going through, their lives changed dramatically, not only physically, but also mentally and emotionally. Relationships between members were tested, no longer able to meet as often as before. Communication was limited, and the harsh pressures of military life made them more introspective and sensitive. Jungkook and Jimin, who had previously been almost inseparable, now forced to live out their days in a structured system, in different locations, and in agonizing silence for those who are used to sharing everything. And so, when a small chance to meet appears, they do not want to miss it. They knew that publications about the meeting could invite a furor. It may even create unnecessary speculation that could complicate their situation. Therefore, they chose secretly. Meet without camera spotlight, no publicity, just the two of them and honesty between them. The meeting was not just a reunion, but rather a form of solace in the midst of tremendous pressure. A close source from their environment revealed that both Jungkook and Jimin both experienced difficult moments during their military service. Jimin, who is known to have a very tender heart, reportedly, he had experienced stress due to a sudden change in the rhythm of life. While Jungkook, who is usually a strong pillar for other members, slowly begins to feel disoriented when unable to freely interact with the people he loves. In the meeting, they did not talk about music, stage, or past achievements. They talk about the pain, the sense of loss, and the fear that they keep to themselves. Jimin reportedly cried when he told how he felt like he had lost a part of himself since having to leave his old life. Jungkook, who rarely cries, he could only hug his friend in silence. No words can completely erase the feeling of tightness that they keep, but the hug was enough to serve as a reminder that they are not alone. Not only that, this meeting also took place amid big rumors that said that there would be big changes in the direction of BTS after all members have completed military service. Many fans are worried about whether all the members will get back together, or will they choose a different path. The issue became more heated after several media outlets mentioned that some members were considering big solo projects. However, if you look at the depth of the relationship between Jungkook and Jimin, it's hard to imagine that they will be permanently separated. Their relationship has gone beyond just coworkers or group mates. They are brothers, souls connected by a transparent thread that cannot be broken by time or circumstances. After the meeting, many ARMY noticed a small change in both. Jungkook, who usually appears calm and cool, began to look warmer at several official military occasions. Jimin, while still looking fragile, showed new strength in himself. As it were, the meeting has become an emotional turning point for both. They know that the world awaits them, and millions of people wish them to stay together. But more important than that, they know that they need each other to remain whole. One of the most moving things of all this is how they still protect each other even in silence. None of them leaked the meeting. They do not insert implied messages on social media, not giving a hint to the media, and still keeping it a secret in their small circle. Until finally, the reality was revealed through the observant eyes of a fan. And when that fact spread, the army showed tremendous support. Instead of feeling disappointed for not being notified sooner, the fans actually showed a deep sense of pride and empathy. They understand that even the biggest stars need space to feel weak, need a place to take a break from the demands of the world. And for Jungkook and Jimin, the only place it was each other. Their relationship became a vivid proof that true friendship does not always have to be on display. Sometimes, the most important thing in life is the invisible. Quietly meet, quietly cry, quietly strengthen each other. And maybe that's why the meeting had to be kept secret. Because there are moments that can only be understood by two hearts that have known each other for a long time. It is undeniable that this story adds a new dimension to BTS's journey. In a world that wants to know everything, Jungkook and Jimin prove that there is still room for pure intimacy. Not all stories should be sold to the public, that there is beauty in things that are guarded by themselves. Now, after the meeting was revealed, many fans actually feel closer to them. Because the meeting showed the human side of two men who had been admired on stage. They are not just idols, but longing human beings who feel lost and who seeks the embrace of his true friend in the midst of the storms of life. And in the end, the answer to the big question may be as simple as this. Jungkook and Jimin must meet secretly because they need each other. Because the world is sometimes too noisy and they just want to hear each other's voices for a moment. Not as a big star, not as part of BTS, but just as Jungkook and Jimin. Two young people who once shared dreams, laughter, tears, and now strengthen each other in silence. Jungkook and Jimin's clandestine meeting holds more than just longing. There is a deeper story than that, a story that has never been revealed before. It's a record they've kept all along, a form of communication that can no longer be channeled through text messages or official letters between divisions. When two wounded hearts meet again, it doesn't take many words to understand each other. The look in your eyes is enough to explain everything. Several insiders who know the two mentioned that Jungkook and Jimin's relationship has gone through various phases, from the usual closeness as a trainee, become friends who protect each other, to the point where they understand each other's dark sides. The conscription period has been a difficult time for both of them, especially since they have been separated for a long time. Jimin, who was in another division, could not communicate freely with Jungkook, even when they just want to ask, "How are you?" It also has to go through a long and full protocol. Therefore, the moment of the silent meeting was like a small miracle that they themselves created. Maybe they only have an hour. Maybe they just sat without saying much. But 1 hour is enough to heal a wound that has been open for months. They touched the same wounds, longing on the stage, on fans, in those days when they could laugh together every day. And in the midst of it all, they realize one important thing, that even though the world is changing, they still have each other. Jungkook, who has been known as a strong and independent figure, it turns out to have a fragile side that only those closest to it can see. Jimin is one of them. During the meeting, according to sources, Jungkook had said, "I'm afraid all this will change when we return." Jimin, who heard the statement,